I'm Adee, and my favorite food is ice cream. And if I was to have one meal before I died, it would be a grilled cheese sandwich with tomato soup. It would have to be a
Ooh,
homemade grilled cheese sandwich, sourdough bread, crispy, thick, but like soft in the middle, a variety of cheeses inside. It's like a gourmet grilled cheese sandwich with tomato soup and ice cream for dessert. That would be my ultimate final meal. And yeah, I'm excited to be here to talk to you today.
that sounds delicious. I love a good grilled
Michael,
cheese sandwich.
we did this thing with our friends where all of us submitted what our last meal would be. It's kind of morbid, but fun and delicious. Where we all submitted, we had to do like one appetizer, one main course, and a side and a dessert. And we rotate between everyone's last meal and we cook them their last meal and everyone comes and we make a menu and then everyone goes around the table and says what they love about that person.
I love that idea. That's so great. So you don't cook your last meal. Someone else cooks it for you.
No, we cook all of them. Michael and I cook all of
Oh, you cook all of them for everyone else. But has anyone cooked your last meal?
them. No, we haven't done mine yet.
Oh, I should have done that for you while you were here.
The best. Grilled cheese sandwich, tomato soup.
I think I could do a pretty good job of it. Anyway,
I have no doubt that you could do a good job of it, for sure.
well, thank you. I appreciate that. We're not here to talk about food, Adee, not today. um, I want to talk to you about social media. And so I have a couple of questions around it. My first one is, how do you view, for you and for your business too? I guess there's two different entities, and how do you view social media for yourself and for your business? Or are they one thing? Are you, when you use your personal social media, are you doing it for business or for you? What do you use your account for?
Yeah. I've actually had some struggles with social media for sure
Mm-hmm.
recently. For my business, it's run by our social media team at WAG. That's a newer thing. I feel fortunate to have a team that can help me run social media. When we first started, it was not that way. And then it evolved to be that way because I think my relationship with social media has changed. On my personal page, it was very easy to share on social media when I was weightlifting and I had a new lift to post every day, or I would share what I was doing in my life. I went to this concert, or I would do that, and it would have me on my phone a lot. And I didn't like that I was on my phone a lot. So, and I also didn't necessarily just want to share all of my life. It felt a little bit like I wanted some space or I just didn't want to feel obligated to share all of my life. And now what I think I use social media for, which I don't post very often, but it's more when I have some type of insight or I've gone through something challenging and I come up the other side and I have a lesson that I've learned for myself and I want to share that with other people. And I want to have some type of impact personally, that it would feel weird coming from WAG. WAG is a nutrition coaching company. We focus on health and fitness and nutrition. Whereas my personal social media, I guess you would say, is more about developing a personal brand, I guess, or sharing my own personal insights, like a journal. And I don't often share when I'm in the middle of something challenging. I find if I do that, it comes across as messy and confusing, and I don't really have my handle on it. I share once I'm on the other side. So I go through difficult things with people in my life and they help me get through it. And then I'll share an insight that I think other people could learn from on the other side. I definitely use my social media to impact people in 4 different categories, and anything outside of that I don't really share. So one category is business. I really want to help empower other women to be able to start their own businesses and to create a life for themselves that's similar to if they want, that's similar to the kind of life that I have and I'm continuing to create. I want to be able to pay it forward because other people did that for me. They helped me do what I'm doing now. So definitely business, definitely mindfulness and personal development of just getting to know yourself better, how to manage stress and anxiety and emotions in challenging situations. The other one would be fitness and nutrition, what I'm doing in fitness and nutrition. And that's probably when I'm like pointing people towards working against gravity. So I definitely use my social media to promote things that are happening at working against gravity, or big launches that we have, or celebrate the success. And then the last one would be my relationship. So my marriage. I am like proud of my marriage more than I'm proud of anything else in my whole life. And I want to share that with people so that people can have an example of it's possible for you to go through challenges in your relationship and make it out on the other side, or how to get through conflict, or how to love each other, like for people that maybe are struggling. So those are the things that I've seen that I've had the most impact, and those are the things that I love sharing the most. But that means I don't share other things. Like I only share those 4 things. I don't share about travel. I don't share about my art. I don't share about dance. I share about those 4 things, and I pretty much stick to those categories.
So so it's obviously like been well thought out. And then, you know, like you just listed 4 categories that you share to. Does that like, do you feel, because to me, like you're a very authentic person. And I guess the social media world is it's so hard to like, well, for a start, I don't think we should be reading into anything anybody posts, right? Yeah. If it's like helpful, great, take it. If you don't feel like it's helpful, just leave it. Do you feel like there's a part of you that you're like, why aren't you sharing those other things? Just because you're not having an impact? Or like, do you go to post something about like dancing? You're like, oh, I've decided not to, so I'm not going to post that. Or like, how does that, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that kind of happen in your brain?
In my brain, I don't think I go and I'm like, I really want to share. I don't want to, I mean, social media to me sometimes feels like a really like dangerous place. Like it can be super positive. I've met some really cool people through social media. I keep connected to people. Like I stay connected to you guys. I watch the Tribe Life and I follow you guys, and I like watch all of Pat's stories that he does with the kids, and I find them like the most entertaining, funniest things on the planet. So I just absolutely love social media in so many ways. But oftentimes I find myself scrolling through and I see somebody's doing something so amazing, or they're traveling, or they're doing this, and I find myself being a little bit envious, which I don't think is a terrible thing. Like it could be motivating, but I don't want to be like inundated with that. So if I'm just sharing something to brag, or to just be like, look how amazing this is, and not with any purpose or trying to like give some, that's just for me. I mean, I think it's great if people want to like share and inspire people about their lifestyle, but there's no consistency with that. I try to be consistent. If I just randomly shared about a bunch of different things, people wouldn't know what they could come to my account for. Am I coming to your account for travel? Am I coming to your account to learn like personal development information? Am I coming to the account for relationships? So I just try and keep it at least interesting, but not all over the place.
But does that, like, why are people coming to your account? Like, why does it matter? You know what I mean? Like, does it matter because like you said, you're trying to build a personal brand, or does it matter because you don't want to sound confusing? Or like, why does that matter to you?
Yeah, I think it matters the most because I would love to use my social media platforms to build a personal brand. I'm not using social media to share about my life and to keep people connected to my life. That's definitely not. I use like group text messages and send photos to my family that way, or I have WhatsApp and I keep like, that's how I'm staying connected with the people in my life. I'm 100% social media to have an impact on people that I don't know, that I don't get connected to, that are part of our community, and wanting to connect with them in a way that I feel like would be helpful, not in a way that's like sharing my life with them. I'm interesting. I'm not that interesting. Like a lot of my life is pretty boring. And I just, I'm definitely using it to build a personal brand. I would love to host events that we can share. Like maybe we host, I just recently last week hosted a women's mastermind event where 10 female entrepreneurs came for 2 days, and we hung out for 2 days, and we did this like deep dive into their businesses and how they can grow. I think a lot of that is because I've consistently shared information about building a business and how to do that through my social media. And I've developed some level of trust with people that they know what they can get from me. And makes them sign up for an event like that.
That's
So
great.
I'm definitely using it for a personal brand for sure.
Right. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think where people kind of get like where they start getting judgmental about stuff, and I'm not referring to your page at all, just in general, like they start reading into things and like commenting on things that is just not there, you know. And I think you can still be authentic and post what you're passionate about without sharing your whole life. And I think that's the distinction, is like people feel like, well, they're just sharing the good side, or they're just sharing this. And it's like, yeah, so it doesn't matter. It's what they get to do. It's their social media, you know?
And if you go to my social media, I'm definitely not only sharing the good side.
Right.
I think you can be authentic, like you're saying, without having to share your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want social media to come into the times in my life when I'm trying to be intimate with my husband, or I'm trying to connect with my friends. I come and visit you guys for the weekend. I don't want to have to feel obligated to take photos to be able to share with the world. Like, I want to be present and engaged with you. And for me, social media was taking away from that. I was feeling like I needed to make a post every single day. And that did help me at the beginning to grow a following and to grow a community. And now I'm more intentional about sharing things that are things that I think that are unique to me, and I have unique insights on those particular topics that are very impactful. I don't think the way I travel, I think other people, like, follow Chrissy May Cagney about how she travels, because that girl is traveling like the way it should be done, you know? So there are people out there that are doing those topics better than the way I'm doing them. I'm learning from them on social media, and I'm so glad that they share. They're having an impact on me. I want to have an impact in the way that I feel like I can uniquely do a good job.
Yeah, that's great. And I think what you just said about what you said when you first started, you would share a lot more, and you said that helped, like, for people who are trying to build a brand or get stuff out there. Do you think that's necessary? Like, do you think there's any other way to build a brand, or, you know, a new business other than social media?
Yes, there's definitely ways to build a brand other than social media.
Give me a couple more examples.
So, well, first, if you're trying to get more followers on social media, engaging with the interface is going to get you more followers. The more you engage with it, the more you post, the more you are providing content, the formula, whatever secret formula they have, is going to be in your favor. If you're not engaging with the platform, people aren't going to be seeing your profile. So your chances are higher that you're going to grow your following the more you post, 100%. Do I think that you need a huge social media following to have a business or a career? Absolutely not. It's one facet of many other facets. I know people that build their entire business over an email list. They just had this newsletter that they first sent to like 10 people. And the newsletter was answering dating advice questions. So he would get questions about dating advice, and he would just answer the questions and send it out. People would then forward the newsletter to other people, and that naturally grew the email list. And then people think you need to have like 100,000 followers or 10,000 followers in order to have a business. That's actually really not true. You really need like 100 people. You need 10 people. You need 10 people that trust you enough to buy your thing. And then if your thing is really good and it provides results, they're going to tell other people. And those 10 people are going to tell 10 more people, and then it's just going to ripple out from there. I can't tell you how big your business is going to be. It really depends on the industry and the idea and the timing of a lot of things, but you don't need more than a few people who are fans of what you do and resonate with what you do. And the best things to do, just like what authentically feels right. So for me right now, writing captions for Instagram, it doesn't feel good. Like when I'm trying to write it, it comes across like I'm trying really hard, or I'm trying to sound a specific kind of way, and it doesn't like feel good to me. So I just don't do it. I like being in the Instagram stories. I think stories are fun. I like share what I'm cooking, or I'll share that we're having a launch at WAG or something like that. It feels good. But I just stick to content that feels right. So Michael and I have a podcast called the WAG Podcast. I love it. Like it energizes me. We prepare for the podcast. We talk about interesting topics. It's only 25 minutes, maximum 30 minutes, and it's fun. That's also social media. You can have a podcast. You can have a Facebook group. People have Facebook communities. I have a friend, she's that sex chick on Instagram. I think she might have like a couple thousand followers on Instagram. She has a very successful business, and she has this Facebook group called the Kaleidoscope where she gives people sex advice. And the Facebook group has thousands of people, and that's just like where her community lives. Mm-hmm. There's Slack channels. There's so many different places that you can do this. My best piece of advice would be to do the one that you actually enjoy. Like, do you enjoy writing blog posts? If you love writing blog posts, your blog will be successful. Like, people still read blogs, and success is relative. People are going to be able to tell that you love it. Like, the content is it's going to feel good because you like it. So just pick the type of content that you enjoy the most, whether it's writing, speaking, singing, YouTube videos. YouTube is a whole other place that you could be. Instagram, like Instagram is just easy because it's on your phone, but if you don't like it, there's so many other options for you.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. I think people are getting really stuck in, and you know, ourselves included, I think we try and cover many industries, not industries, like you said, medians. But for some reason, like, everyone just keeps coming back to Instagram. And I think because it is so in your face, it's so there, like, it's so easy to use. But if it doesn't feel like, again, like, it doesn't feel authentic or real or like easy, then it just is, people are going to pick up on that. They're going to pick up on that feeling, and they're not going to be into it. So yeah, I think that's really good advice. I'm sure many people would appreciate hearing that, for sure.
But I'm still on Instagram, guys. You know, I just don't know what to say. So I'm this like voyeur. I'm like watching. I follow all these accounts that I get inspired from. You can hear most of what I have to say on a podcast every Tuesday.
Great. Well, we'll put it out there. Was it the WAG podcast, right? Cool. Well, thanks, Adee.